welcome to this interview. Sadhguru, let me start with a very simple and straight question. Now, we can see a lot of God men in our country nowadays, and if you are traveling in rural villages, almost all village will have a God man. Do you think that a human being can become a God man?
I don't know who is a God man, I've never seen one because I've seen men and goddamn men. I've not seen any God man. I think it's a media invented word, the God man. I don't think ever anybody has claimed to be a God man. At the same time, can human beings consciously evolve themselves into higher levels of consciousness, higher levels of capability? Definitely, they can. Because the very nature of human existence is such, the fundamental and significant difference between who we are as human beings and every other creature is, for every other creature, nature has drawn two lines within which they have to live and go. For a human being, why a human being is always confused is because for a human being there's only baseline, there is no top line. Doesn't matter how much ever you do in your life, you still want to do something more, you still feel incomplete because there is no top line. Otherwise, we would be just happy with our survival process. So this is the beauty of a human being, that he can limitlessly expand himself. Now what you're talking about, these people being referred to as God-man and whatever the other issues happening, is not about spirituality or religion. It is essentially a drop in integrity across all aspects of life in the country. So this God-man business going negative, it's not all that negative, believe me. I've met many wonderful people who are doing incredible work. It is just that it is only the bad apples who get the media. So the integrity of the media also needs to be fixed because they're always looking for bad apples and making all apples bad.
How can we differentiate?
If you look around, there are many people who are doing wonderful work, you can report that, but that's not news. The news is only when somebody is in a scandal. That has to go, that's lack of integrity by itself. So lack of integrity is not unique to the religious or the spiritual people, it's unfortunately
happening everywhere.
Yes.
So in the history of mankind, all the generations, Sadhguru asked a very important question, that whether there is a God we can look up to. And there are two answers. Of course, there is no God, there is God. Where do you stand?
You said look up to. Let me ask you a simple question. You know that we are on a round planet, right?
Yeah.
And you know it's spinning. So if you look up, invariably you're looking up in the wrong direction. Do you know which side is up in this cosmos? Is it marked somewhere in this cosmic space, this side up? So what is up and down? Up and down is okay when we're sitting in this room, that's up and this is down, for practical purposes. But in the larger context of the existence, do you know which is up and down, which is forward, backward? You're incapable of knowing that. There is only one thing you can know, what is outward and what is inward. So you've seen the outward and you can only manage it to some extent because too many players are there. You must turn inward and see. And if you turn inward and see, you will see you have left large parts of your interiority unmanaged, and that's why all these problems, that you're looking for solution elsewhere. So what is it that you're calling as God? Whatever is the source of creation, that's what you're calling as God. God has happened in human psyche simply because you have no explanation for the phenomenal creation that's around you. So a simplistic explanation for that is, there's a big man sitting up there and doing it. Now of course women are claiming, why not us? So our ideas of God are purely cultural, and the idea of one big man sitting there and managing is a very simplistic, childish idea. It's okay when they tell you as a child, it's good to see it that way. But if you grow really in perception. If you see, growth is not about physicality, growth is not about wealth, growth is not about information, growth is about perception. If your perception is enhanced about life, you understand that you're referring to something as God because you have no explanation for the creation. Neither science has nor religion has. Now the question is, do you believe in God or you disbelieve in God? That's a question.
Yeah.
Why would you believe or disbelieve something? Please tell me. The fundamentals of belief and disbelief comes because you are not sincere enough to admit what you do not know as I do not know. Why can't human beings be straight enough, simple enough, sincere enough? What I know, I know. What I do not know, I do not know. Only because most human beings have not realized the immensity of I do not know. Only if you realize I do not know, the longing to know will come, seeking to know will come, the possibility of knowing will come. Instead of creating a seeking, we are believing. Believing means, believing and disbelieving are not two different things. One believes there is God, another believes there is no God. They're not different people, they're the same people. One has a positive belief, another has a negative belief.
Why there is negative belief? Why you are calling that?
It depends on their experiences of life, their intellect, their education and many things, okay, their exposure essentially. Or what's happening around them in the name of religion which frustrates them, many things. I'm saying when I say negative, I'm not saying negative as a negative. All I'm saying is belief, whether it's belief or disbelief, they're not two different things. The word God is an imported word, okay? We call them devas. Any exalted human being was referred to as a deva at one time. Today, it's very appropriate in India. People are referring to Sachin Tendulkar as a cricketing god. It's very perfect with the Indian milieu because we never believed that there is a God up there, okay? This is a foreign belief that's come to us now. But here, we said, if you become a great journalist, we will say you're a journalistic God, because you have risen beyond what people normally consider as normal. If you excel beyond that, we say he's a deva, because he's an exalted being, that's what it meant. The word deva meant an exalted being. So if you excel either in sport or music or art or administration or spiritual process, we said, oh, he's a deva, because he's an exalted being. Like this, we recognize many devas historically, because we have a history of 12,000–15,000 years of civilization. We recognize many people and we still, in the folklore, we kept them alive. Apart from that, we learn to create energy forms which will work for us in a certain way.
Unfortunately, the faith has been highly politicized, Sadhguru, and organized religions are used as tools to reach or achieve power. How do you see this?
Politicization means you must understand you are in a democratic country. Democracy is an art of arithmetics. Okay.
Okay.
Ultimately, numbers. Okay.
Matters.
So, once numbers are going to give you power, not quality, not intelligence, not ability, but just numbers are going to give you power, people will manipulate everything. Class, creed, caste, religion, everything they will manipulate to get the numbers. You must understand, this is not religion business, this is not caste or creed business, this is power business, okay? It should not be mistaken for religion. It's just power stuff. For power, the only way to get to power today is you need numbers. You have a big brain, nobody's going to make you the Prime Minister or the Chief Minister. You need to have numbers. So they're trying to gather numbers in whichever way possible.
But nowadays, most of the sannyasis, sadhus are, they are propagating the ideology of some political parties. And how do you see this? And they're actively participating.
No. It's a very wrong thing to say most of them are doing it. Not even, I don't even see one. You think some one or two people who come on the television, they're sannyasis? No. There are millions of them. None of them ever spoke politics. Why do you think all the sadhus, sannyasis are propagating politics? Definitely not. You can name a few, of course, but they are elected representatives. and they knew they wouldn't be elected for anything else except the clothes they wear.
And do you think that the sannyasins should stay away from politics and this such sort of propagating the ideology of
I
some
think it's
political
an
parties?
individual choice, it depends on the times, okay? If it's a normal time, definitely people on the spiritual path should not enter politics. It's not their business. But in extraneous times, when the future of the people of a nation is at stake, you can't sit away, you may have to do something. Now there is a whole lot of talk in the media and everywhere else, why is this sannyasi entering politics? See, I want you to understand, the laws of the country are such, even if you're a sannyasi, you have to pay your taxes. If you want to drive, you need a license. You're going by all the laws. So when I'm going by all the laws, why am I denied the fundamental rights that everybody else has? What is this discussion that's going on in the country? It's just stupid.
Well, it's a good logic, but no, if sannyasins are engaging in propagating politics of hatred, then what will happen?
I have not seen any sannyasi propagating politics of hatred. It is just that some of them are wearing the uniform, as I said, but they're basically politicians, okay? They found that the only way they can get elected is with a certain kind of clothing or whatever. Such people will do. If somebody is propagating politics of hatred, whether he's a sannyasi or otherwise, whatever he claims to be, there are laws to fix him. I'm saying enforce the laws. Why is it a debate?
No, again, coming back to the faith, issue of faith, you may know and you are aware that, a lot of controversies are going on regarding the banning of beef. Don't you think that it is an attack to the individual liberty to choose one's food?
Suppose I develop a taste for cannibalism. Will you allow me? So now I want you to understand from where this is coming. We are a pastoral society. That is, for ages, our health, well-being is always determined by the cow. You understand? Our economy, our health, our well-being is decided by the cow. We have gone through bad agriculture years, droughts, famines. Even when famines came, if you had a cow at home, your children will be healthy. This is the wisdom of this culture. So cows were not just animals, they were part of the families. And cow is such an animal, suppose in the house you have a certain relationship with the cow, if you are in grief, the cow will shed tears. So because it has human emotions, it was considered in this country, if you kill a cow, it amounts to murder. If you eat a cow, it amounts to cannibalism. Now maybe a certain percentage of people have started eating, but it's very offensive for the rest. Can't you eat a dog? What's the problem? Dog lovers will kill you, believe me. But cow lovers are not supposed to say anything because they are supposed to be majority population. This is unfair. If somebody wants to eat in his house, it's different. But India becoming a major exporter of beef is a crime. I don't go with that. But an individual person wants to cut a cow in his house and eat, I think it's insensitive, but it's up to him. I think instead of banning beef, all they should have done is no export of meat from India. Now the only way, I'm telling you, the only way you can preserve the soil of this nation for future generations is you must have enough animals, farm animals on the farm. I think it must be made mandatory. For every acre, you must have this many cows. Otherwise, this soil will be absolutely useless in the next 40 to 50 years.